I'm going to start vlogging right now, and we're going to talk about this happicicidal stuff.
Oh, that's like the last thing in the world I want to talk about.
You don't, well, that's the vlog that I had in mind. We could talk about other stuff, but I just,
I mean, we can talk about how I don't like talking about this topic because it triggers me to become
have you
more.
lost anyone to suicide? I'm sorry.
Not that I knew well,
Yeah.
but
So the idea behind happicide is that you're happy to die. And the idea behind sadicide is that you're sad to die. And I think most suicides are sadicides.
deciding to die or to kill.
It means to kill. But in this case, I'm making the sua part implied. Sua is just is silent in happisuicide. It's just happicide. You kill the sua. The sua part, sui, commits suicide, and you're left with happicide in this word, which means happy to die by your own hand. And sadicide is a sadisuicide, but again, the sua is redundant, so it's just sadicide because the sua committed suicide and it's gone now. Now, are you sad? Is it a sadicide or a happicide to see sua, sui, in happa and sadicide, kill itself and only leave happicide and sadicide? That's a joke for linguists to explore. That's a word preference issue.
Yeah.
I think typically death is sadicidal. I think most deaths are unfortunate because most people don't have everything that they want to do done. And I
Yeah,
think
but
that
even if you get everything you want to do done, why would you necessarily want to end your life though?
no, this is because here's the next level of getting things
And it's
done.
also just G.G. Allen again. Like it's just you're just repeating G.G. Allen.
Well, G.G. Allen just talked about doing suicide on a specific date to get attention. That's all
No,
he
no,
wanted.
his philosophy. I was just now watching the documentary. He said you need to die at the most high apex of your achievement, and that's when you need to die.
See, that's not. I don't agree with that statement. I think you
Oh,
should
so
die.
you're saying once you've accomplished everything, not necessarily that you're at your greatest, but at the end.
Yeah, yeah. Once you've accomplished all your major goals and you've reached a point with your relationships with other people where you're like, look, I'm gonna die, but I love you. It's been nice knowing you. Before I go, let's talk about your garden 5 times, and then let's have a party, and then I'm gone, okay? And the other person says, okay, I'll see you never because you're gonna kill yourself, but it's a happicide, and I love you, man, and so fare thee well. So sorry there isn't an afterlife. And it just seems to me like happicide is possible because of how bad life can be. And sadicide is only inevitable if you think all death is bad. And I think anyone that's familiar with torture, like ask Dick Cheney if all death is bad. There's no way he'd say, yes, I hate all death. No, he loves death except for the people he's forcing to stay alive while he tortures them, right? I guess you can actually do that. I wonder if Cheney has a Twitter account. I imagine he doesn't. Anyway, that's happicide and sadicide. I'm sorry if I made you sad inside by saying happicide and sadicide so many times.
Yeah, you really. I mean,
I
I don't know
totally
if you're
have.
speaking in general or to me specifically, but yeah, it's like gonna be an issue for
It's
the next couple weeks. Like
for the
it's
next.
like
It's totally triggering, and you've got weeks of pain from talking about it.
no, it's well, it's literally it's not not like people use triggering as like
No, I understand.
a troll thing, but like I was saying before, we started like.
No, it's a grumpy topic, but don't you move on from it after you think about it for a second?
No, that's not how post-traumatic stress works. When they
Shitty.
they stay and they last.
Well, then I just dumped on your brain, and now you have to flush the dump that I put in your brain. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel bad. I was actually aimed at doing something good with you. I wanted to blog out H and S, those two concepts.
I know, but I'm the last person in the world that's what I was saying. Is like that's the last thing in the world I want to ever talk about. Like hearing that word over and over again is just
sucks.
It's like it keeps putting it in my brain to do that, so it makes me more likely to do that.
But man, just don't do it. Just don't do it. It's not, like in
That's not how anything works, though.
Well, but like
people don't.
People imitate each other. People imitate each other. Adam, like, imitate me. I love life. I'm not, my Happicide is years away, years and years. I'm not more likely to do it, but I am more likely. The idea is like a suicide pact with other people that want a Happicide and that make a communal, like orgy of mass killings of a whole group of people. I realize it's very morbid, but I don't want you to feel the pain of the morbidity.
Let's change the subject. Not necessarily change the subject, but there's an aspect of this that I find interesting.
Okay.
Say that you did a mutual death thing.
Mutual death.
A mutual death thing with another person.
Yeah. A suicide pact. Yeah.
Well, a mutual death.
Okay.
And you are a good person, and the other person is a very evil person.
Yeah.
Is that
then,
good that happen, or does it equal out, or?
I mean, that's the thing about the universe, is that at some level there is no good and bad in the universe, but in another sense, what I think is that if you are equally as good as they are bad, then for humanity it's a net zero. But on top of that, I think it's a shame to muddy the waters of a Happicide with a badicide. So there's a Goodicide and a badicide. That's what I feel like you brought up. And you just made those two terms. And a Goodicide is when a good person kills themselves, and a badicide is when a bad person does. And in a perfect world, a person could sing a song. Go ahead.
I was saying, not necessarily. In other words, in the situation I was proposing, you could shoot each other, for example.
Yeah. Like a duel that's guaranteed to kill both of you. Right?
Yeah, like a mutual.
Like a suicide pact. I mean, you can do it to yourself or to the other person. You both die.
Suicide, though, to kill someone else.
Yeah, but who that's just it's just technical who actually does the killing. Like the result is you're both dead, right?
No, there's a reason why you would make a difference, because it's really hard to kill yourself. It's really easy to kill someone else.
But that's what doctors can help with.
One of the hardest things in the world is to actually kill yourself.
It's hard to commit a sadicide. But for the oldened, that's what I was talking about in that other video earlier. I've been oldened, and my oldenation has made it so that when I die, I think I'm cool with it. I think it's a Happicide when I off myself. But if I don't, and I die some other way, then, I mean, sorry if you miss me, but fuck it. It happened. But do you see how, Goodicide and badicide and Happicide and sadicide, those are the dimensions on which to look at it. Like, don't think it's hard to commit suicide, because what's hard is committing sadicide. I'm sad to commit suicide, but I'm so sad to live that I commit suicide in order to avoid it. Go ahead.
Most
What?
people who are successful and suicidal do it when they have energy and they're happy, because it's very difficult to kill yourself in a depressed state.
Yeah,
when you
but
actually finally have a positive.
yeah, I know, I get
energy,
that.
when you have the
I get that. It's like
motivation to actually follow through on it.
it's like for some people, you go along and then you bottom out so bad that you decide, oh my goodness, I want to die. And then you only peak at a point that's high enough for you to say, oh my goodness, now I can die, so I'm going to commit suicide. I would consider that a sadicide. I wouldn't consider that person actually comfortable with the reality of non-existence. I would say that that person is not hapicidal. I think they're suicidal, and I think they're sadicidal, and I think it's badicide, because I think that's the wrong way to look at life and at human misery. In my opinion, just philosophically, to me, that...
Well, philosophically, I guess my point is, it's sort of a good thing. Sorry that I'm on the way to the doctor right now.
Oh, it's all right. We got to get you to that doctor. It's okay.
But it's a good thing that it's difficult to kill yourself, is what I'm getting at.
I agree. If it was...
It's actually a lot harder than it seems to successfully just kill yourself.
And that's probably a good thing, because you can't fix it once you do it. There's no going back. So I think that's a good thing, that it's hard to kill yourself.
I think your concept of just killing yourself at the end, it's not very realistic, because it's really hard to actually go through with that.
Wait a second. Now you're talking hard as in emotionally hard. What
No,
I'm...
I'm saying it's not just emotionally hard.
Well, with a doctor's help, it's a matter of taking pills and dying. With a doctor's help, you can commit suicide easily. And they prescribe it to some people in Oregon or other right-to-die states.
Okay, but I guess that's technically suicide, but you're somebody else is responsible for it.
No, nobody else is responsible for it. You go to the doctor and...
You're intentionally missing my point almost. My point is, for you to kill yourself by yourself is extremely difficult to do, and not just emotionally.
But it's immaterial, because
it's a very difficult thing to achieve.
But it's not an achievement. It's just kind of a dick move to kill yourself if you've got no reason to and you're not like content and completed. I'm just saying, like...
You're ignoring my point.
No, I'm not. I'm trying not to, but I'm saying I don't see... It's immaterial who does the killing. It's not a crime. Like, that's what's wrong with commit suicide. Suicide is a verb. And a person suicided, and that's either regrettable or it's a wonderful thing. If Dick Cheney suicides, I eat a donut. If Adam Lohr suicides, then I have a cry. Do you see?
Yeah, but have your cry now, because it's the most likely way I'm going to die.
But
you should be crying beforehand. Don't wait until it happens and be surprised. Start crying now and spread it out so you can cry over the years.
But that's most deaths catch you by surprise. But that's the advantage. That's what makes some Happicides happy, is that you planned it, you intended to do it, and you achieved your goal, and you did it at peace with the rest of the qualities of your life. That makes a Happicide to me. You don't believe that happens?
No. I'm saying that doesn't apply to me.
Okay. Well, that's you and that's me. I just, that's what I was thinking, man.